Welcome to the Trying to Be Better podcast with Joel and Steve.
Wow. We're recording.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Trying to Be Better podcast with Joel and Steve.
We're really trying.
I want to talk about the title of our podcast here soon.
Oh, good. Okay.
My name is Joel.
And my name is Steve.
And
I'm watching Joel eat yogurt.
I am finishing up some
gross.
Like you thought I was eating ice cream? No, I'm eating Oikos 000 banana cream. Oh,
it's good. I like Oikos. We love Oikos here at the Trying to Be Better.
Today's podcast is sponsored by Oikos, yogurt that looks like ice cream and tastes like banana.
If you can still taste.
You don't sound good. You don't sound good.
I sound worse than I feel, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I am currently under the weather, though, for sure. The COVID status is undetermined. I slept well last night because I doped myself up with dextromethorphan and Sudafed and Benadryl and acetaminophen. I slept like a baby, so I feel like a human today. Yesterday, I felt like ass.
I feel like I'm moderately hungover. Like but I didn't drink, but like
right.
I am. I got a gnarly headache and feeling a little nauseous, but that could just because I stayed up too late, ate a bunch of sugar.
That might have something to do with it. I was chuckling today. I'm like, I don't feel great. And I'm like, dude, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Like what I used to do to myself.
Yeah.
And then just go do it again.
Yeah. Keep them coming.
That's right.
Keep them coming,
stop,
baby.
For God's sakes. I won't have to actually feel any of this.
Oh, do you think that we're appropriately, I mean, obviously we're in the middle of the pandemic still. Do you think that we're appropriately now more cautious of our ailments?
I don't know, man. I have no perspective on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, I can get all, I mean, dude, have you met me? I can get all up in my head about like, what am I going to do about this? I just told Joel before we hit record that I have jury duty tomorrow. I got called up for jury duty. So I'm like, what do I do? Do I go down there? What am I going to do? Call a government office on a Sunday?
I told Steve just a second ago, this is a perfect excuse to get out of it. And you're like, but I kind of want to do it. I got called once, or got the postcard or whatever that said, on this 2-week date, you might get called 20 plus years ago. And I never got called, at least that I'm aware of. Yeah. Of course, my life was a little chaotic then. So maybe they did. I don't know. All I know is I never got summoned. Right.
So I'm assuming that was okay. But that's kind of, I want to take part in my civic obligations because that's kind of part of being an American citizen.
It is.
And to try and skirt my way out of that feels kind of shitty, especially given everything that I've said over the last, 6 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel somewhat obligated to go perform that duty. And I finally landed on it. I'm like, you know what? If Amazon warehouse workers can go to work, I guess I'll go to fucking jury duty. Yeah. It's like, whatever. I'll wear a mask.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll wear my P100 mask. Yeah.
You got you upped your mask game.
Oh, it's awesome. I love it, man. I mean, it's completely obnoxious. And I don't know that, I was tempted to play. We got gigs coming up. I was tempted to play a gig in it. Just go full Devo.
Yeah.
But it's awesome, man. It's P100. Like nothing's getting through this thing.
Yeah. It's a full on respirator. Is it fitted to you?
Yeah. Nice. It's generic off the shelf, but it's 3M. It's really nice. It fits perfectly. And it breathes amazingly well. Mm-hmm. You can't really hear, like everything's really muffled if I talk, but as far as like the actual respirating part of it, it's amazing.
Are you wearing that to work or what?
No.
I
don't know. Yeah, I just in case. I don't know, man. Things aren't getting better, so I figured I'd be prepared. And frankly, it was an impulse buy.
I love it.
Yeah.
There are worse things you could buy impulsively.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know. Look at this thing. I mean, full Devo.
It's serious.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. And it was like $25.
Yeah.
And these filters are replaceable,
Right.
So they just pop off and put another one on. It's great. I don't know where that came from, but anyway, yeah, I was thinking about wearing that to the courthouse. Maybe they'll exclude me from that just because I'm wearing that thing.
I would say that's the right place to wear it.
That's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're supposed to be having some KN95 masks delivered today. Hopefully they're not counterfeit. I'll probably just order wear the KN tomorrow if they actually show up.
We ordered some of those, and some friends of ours gave us like actual N95 respirator masks too.
I have some of those too as well. Maybe I'll just wear the N95 tomorrow. That's a good idea. Kind of, not go full wacko because that's what it'll look like.
When we were in Florida, we went to this outdoor. They have the Florida Botanical Gardens, and they were having sort of their Christmas light celebration at night thing. And we were walking around. They had different music. They had a DJ, which was cool. And then we went to this one area, and that's
what every botanical gardens needs is a DJ.
I completely agree. And we got to this one area, and it was this guy, boots and cats. We went to this one area, and this guy had one of those like big pan hang drums,
Oh yeah, love it.
Meditative drum things, but he had full on respirator like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It was.
I almost feel like if I start wearing this, it'll be like the Seinfeld where George eats the Snickers with the knife, the fork and knife, and next thing like everybody's eating it with the fork and knife. Like if I start rocking this P100 mask, I bet people start wearing them.
Today's podcast also brought to you by 3M.
It's makers of fine respiratory equipment and
everything else.
And everything else, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Find us on Instagram, everybody. Trying to Be Better podcast.
Sure.
Email this show.
Yeah, you're missing out a lot.
TTBB podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah, very good. Dude, our listenership has dropped off significantly in the last month.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like it's like half of what the last two episodes have been, like almost nothing. I attribute it to the holidays, not due to any, fault of ours, of course.
We're still putting out the hits, man. We're just gonna keep putting out the fucking.
We're just gonna keep on rocking.
We're gonna keep on rocking.
I mean, at one point we were playing like the big stadiums and all that. Now we're playing the county fairs, but it's still all good.
You know what?
We're gonna keep on rocking.
It's never been about that, man.
We're huge in Japan.
You know what? Yeah, it's never been about that. It's just about us.
About that.
Sharing the message.
Bearing the message. The message. Capital T, capital M.
Yeah, man. The message. Welcome to the message.
What exactly would that be? You said you wanted to talk about our title anyway.
Oh yeah. Well, not to disparage it at all, but so we've brought up the amazing Buddhist teacher / psychoanalyst Josh Corda.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm. I haven't listened to him recently.
He did a New Year's Eve intention setting ceremony talk about basically he went head on at the idea of New Year's resolutions, and he kind of basically gave a lot of examples from modern psychology study that those don't do anything.
They don't work. Yeah.
They don't work. Right.
Anybody that's ever gotten a gym membership on the 2nd of January can probably attest to that.
Right. And, basically, but the reason I wanted to talk about this, it was fun because he kept saying people trying to be better, be better people. And every time he said it, I was like, oh, that's awesome. Cause not that we really adhere to this, format, our message of trying to be we're always constantly trying to be better.
Yeah.
But his talk, I'll bring it up. I'll bring up the actual title of it in case people really want to hear it.
Is there a link to the podcast or something we can put up?
Yeah, it's called New Year's Eve Talk and Ceremony. His podcast is Dharma Punks NYC, Dharma Punks with an X.
Yep.
NYC. And this episode was dropped on January 7th, but I think he recorded it over Zoom live with his community at, New Year's Eve. Because
right
at the end of the talk, like, he ends the talk with a meditation on taking the taking refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, and the Buddhist commitments, essentially. I know they have words, but I can't remember them. But he really, like, nails the idea that, like, it's not about goals are fine,
sure
with the understanding that the things you want to achieve or do or whatever are not actually going to make you happy.
Right.
That none of that stuff, both spiritually speaking and actually, like, psychologically speaking, bring about any modicum of an increase in happiness. The only thing that does, that they see, is a unconditional loving acceptance of oneself, and, like, generosity and service,
regardless of external circumstances. Yep.
Doesn't matter. Nothing else matters but that.
Mm-hmm.
And he did this thing too, where he asked the question, like, I guess it's a practice that he has done, or that was taught to him, about, like, what really matters is, like, if you think about, what would you want your dying utterance to be to people,
right?
And what would you want your final thoughts to be as you make the transition to your own death? And that is the thing that is indicative of your inherent goodness.
Sure.
And, that's the thing that we really ought to focus on, because nobody sits around on their deathbed and says, I'm really grateful for all the goals I had, or, I really wish I would have had more goals, or I, made more money, or whatever. So he just kept bringing up the phrase, trying to be better. And I was like, oh, that's
my
funny.
God, that's so funny. Did you email him and say, dude, we got a whole thing about that?
I honestly thought about, and I think I will try to reach out and see if he wants to come on.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. See if he's
because I really do enjoy his work for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny because Mary Stankiewicz talked about that too, just because New Year's, and the thing that stuck out to me about what she said was that the idea of the intention or the New Year's resolution has a harshness to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's indicative of, like, something being very wrong, and that we have to correct this.
Yeah.
And not that it, those things are usually born out of, like, well, I wish I was in better physical shape. There's nothing, like, inherently wrong with that. But that thing of, like, okay, this year, I'm really going to get after it. Later.
Well, the undue feeling of urgency that those things are going to make me okay.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with goal setting. There's nothing wrong with wanting to accomplish things. That's what I was thinking about when we were talking, like, the thing in the recovery rooms is, like, you can set all the goals you want. You just don't get to plan the outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with working towards a goal.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't work the first time, try it again. Like, that's called perseverance.
Mm-hmm.
But wrapping up whether or not, like, you're successful or your self-esteem or whatever, and that tends to be kind of dangerous for people like us.
Yeah. And if those things that we're wanting to do, accomplish, achieve, experience, if we can look at them, what I've found is, like, if I can look at those things as, how is this benefiting others?
How's it benefiting my sponsees?
Right. How is this benefiting anyone? Really? Like,
right.
That's where those things will.
Well, that's it. If your success becomes like an ivory tower a pedestal that you put yourself up on.
Yeah.
That is dangerous, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But what do I know? I haven't achieved much success in my life.
That's not true.
Well, I'm kind of kidding, but everything, like, that's something that's always been a struggle for me is like setting intentional goals.
Yeah.
Like, that's always been really hard. I don't know. Low self-esteem, I guess, would probably be a good, like why bother kind of thing. And I've done okay simply by working hard and trying to not be a total asshole all the time, and that seems to have worked out pretty okay for me. Especially given, where I essentially started from 20 plus years ago, so like I have a good position today. I have but like Holly, she's kind of one of my heroes because she's one of those people that set goals and then accomplish them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
she did it. She wanted to become a counselor. She became a counselor. And then when she became a counselor, she thought, I don't really, this isn't, I want to work for myself. I don't want to work for an agency. So she hung her own shingle and it's killing it,
Yeah.
Like that's, to me, it's amazing,
I
with that has come a certain amount of, financial success, whatever you want to put it. But that's not really, I guess, the name of the game,
No, I mean, and I realistically, like, I set goals to, I can recall the pivotal conversations I've had where I'm like, I'm going to get my graduate degree because I really am owning the desire to be a professor, and then from that moment to now, I'm doing it. But
see, that's so cool. I've never had that moment ever. I've never had that flash of, oh, this is what I'm going to do. Ever. Besides play guitar in AC/DC, but they,
the phone hasn't been ringing for that.
Hasn't. No, weirdly,
But
but even that, like, that's a juvenile thing, obviously. And looking back, and I was listening to a podcast this morning where I had this thing of like, I'm gifted musically. I have some God-given, whatever you want to call it, innate music ability. And I've always, like when I was a kid, I was listening to the good old Grateful Dead podcast about Infrared Roses today while I was cleaning it apart. And like I've always played outside music. Like when we first got a piano, I would just sit and noodle forever. Sitting and learning chords and arpeggios and theory. I hated that, but I could sit and noodle and make ethereal sounds. I love that, and I'm good at it even as a kid, and so like that, I have those moments where it's like, had I known that was a thing, that people like John Cage existed,
yeah,
like my life might look a lot different.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only thing that I've ever actually been really good at naturally. And so I feel like, obviously it's a little late for me to go into a career of avant-garde music composition and performance.
Why? I'd go make it.
Okay.
I mean, not like you are going to be the next John Cage, but I think that I'm gonna go way back. Toot your fucking hooter, man.
I'm working on it, dude. I'm working on it. Everything there's balance. So that's like one of my intentions that I said actually, a couple of years ago was to do more with music again.
And that's happening.
Right. It is. So it's like it's all kind of unfolding just in a way that I wouldn't have predicted.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, kind of back to the point. Just being open and saying yes,
Yeah.
But even this Exile thing, the Rolling Stones thing, that is something that approached me.
It came to you.
It came to me, right?
Well, like,
but whether I manifested it or if you believe in that or whatever,
I really, my cynical self really wants to like dismiss that sort of magic. But I have benefited from what seems to be the universe conspiring in my benefit.
Yep.
More times than I can shake a stick at.
Right.
So that I probably ought to just accept that there's some serendipity.
Well, I think, how that came around was, I took the action of starting to take guitar lessons with a guy that's an established musician in Lincoln and knows people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he gets calls periodically from people saying, hey, you know any guitar players? Right. And I think that's the manifesting for me is it all comes back to taking the actions, which is like, I wanted to get better at playing guitar so I could play more guitar. I took guitar lessons. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been saying for 30 years, man, if I ever get the Steve Bauer band together, this is going to be the set opener. This is, like I have a list of songs in my head that would be, I could play 5 nights and not repeat a tune, but getting that band together is not something that like I'm in a position to even think about right now. Hell, I'm doing good just to make it to Exile practices and gigs.
I'm just saying though that now that you have see that this would be interesting though, now that you've kind of verbalized it, because I've never heard you say that.
Oh, really?
I don't think.
Yeah. I have set lists in my head. I have configurations. I've got,
So that's like, let's see if the universe conspires in your benefit.
Maybe.
Because maybe it'll come to you.
Maybe. I remember probably 15, 20 years ago, I put together, like I went down to like Dietz and all the music places and put together, hey, I want to form an acoustic duo. I just need a bass player and somebody can sing some background vocals. And I get together with a couple guys. It never panned out to anything, but that was that was a big deal for me to like go out there like that. And frankly, I wasn't a good enough musician for that to actually happen. I think, like I think it was I was overestimating my own ability at the time.
Yeah, sure.
I knew songs, but I wasn't sensitive enough musician to be able to actually pull that off.
To like receive other people's input and shit.
Like that and just like I just wasn't, I don't know. I was very good at being loud but not very like I just wasn't that great of a guitar player, I guess, Like if I go back and listen to some stuff that I did a long time ago, I'm like, yeah, that wasn't great,
I'm very curious now. I'm sure our listeners are too, all 12 of them. What would be the set opener?
Oh, well, like for example, just off the top of my head, I love the Dire Straits song "Walk of Life."
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, the boy can play on the
yeah.
And with the light turning off at nighttime and the lights coming up,
Yeah.
And then jam, play a set of music, and then at the end have some sort of going from like, like for example, and this is strictly classic rock shit, but like JJ Cale's After Midnight, who more people know from Eric Clapton, like nice little danceable funk jam back into Walk of Life to finish the set.
That's what I was gonna say. Like your proclivity for the jam acid fusion jam band life to do that with those songs.
Well, there's that's all my life I've heard all these songs. I'm like, I wish the Grateful Dead would have played that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's something that people would come out to see and would have a good time. And,
yeah, I'd fucking dig that.
That's what I'm saying. And not just old stuff. That's just kind of what came to mind, but there's lots of music out there. Like I love that Lord song Royals.
Yeah.
And I love the postmodern jukebox version of it with Puddles the Pity Party singing it. Yeah, like that would be somewhere in there,
Yeah, just like
in some
form. Interesting classic and pop anthems.
Yeah. Done
woven like, together
and cracked open to receive the music of the universe as interpreted.
What you got to what you got to do, you got to call Joe Russo and see if he'd be willing to do it.
Hey Joe, how do you feel about Nebraska?
Yeah, do you want to pivot in what you're doing? I feel like we could really blow some minds with Dire Straits.
I feel like that might be a tough phone call.
That's the problem. I think that they could do just about anything, but they found a pocket of rabid fans.
Yep. That they hit it just exactly. The universe just went, okay, you guys now.
Yeah, you guys
now.
Yeah, you're going to be the popular evangelist for a while. So whether you believe in this shit or not, it's bringing in money.
Saddle up. Strap in, because you'd be fools not to.
Yeah, that's true.
That's, I think, probably what the conversation centered around with those guys.
Yeah. Like, you guys want to play? You guys want to keep playing weird club shows, or do you want to play the first bank?
Yeah, you want to go out and play 3,000-4,000 seats arenas and make some coin and have a blast doing it.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's where were we? I feel like we already talked about Joe Russo.
We did. We were just talking about intentions.
Oh yeah.
And like the intention to like goals versus intentions, I guess, like goals versus like, I don't know, like
I mean, I think it's safe to say that most successful people, however you want to define that, have set goals in their life to accomplish things.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with setting goals. In fact, that's probably a really good thing to do.
Dude, okay, so this is wild. I'm reading that Dave Grohl autobiography, the storyteller, the drummer from Nirvana and Foo Fighters guy, Dave Grohl.
Is it any good?
It's fucking great. And maybe it's just because I have sort of a proclivity for that era of music. And I'm he was in a pretty successful kind of punk outfit before he got roped into Nirvana.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't write a lot about the Nirvana years. He wrote a little bit about getting into it and the explosion. And then he kind of skipped right to the end, which was fine because we can
that's already been written about.
Yeah, you can Google that.
Right.
But he was talking about how when he got brought into the band after the band's first record and they were recording Nevermind and they were talking to some big labels or whatever, because they had already had a following with their first record Bleach, and they were gonna, they were gonna make another record that ended up being Nevermind. They were in like some studio exec, and the executive was asked Kurt Cobain, like, what do you want to do? And Kurt, said straight, whether he was, and Dave kind of put it in the book, like he wasn't sure if he was being serious or not, but Kurt said, I want to be the biggest fucking band in the world.
Oh, well, there you have it.
And here's the thing, like he had that intention and he achieved that intention. I don't think it killed him. I mean, heroin killed him and suicide killed him, but
mental illness probably, and a lack of resources around that.
Right. But at the same time, like you can have those goals and achieve those goals, but what's the substance of that?
Right.
Like, what are you hoping to get out of that?
Right.
Do you want
that's interesting.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's the thing that I'm like, and I don't know if there's a connection there. And I'm definitely,
well, I mean, that's not a ununique thing in rock and roll or stardom,
Yeah.
Bon Scott from AC/DC did the same thing.
Yeah, man.
He announced to the world that he was going to be a rock and roll singer. He's going to be a rock and roll star. Ended up choking on his own vomit in Paris right as they were getting world famous.
Yeah.
So is that poetic justice? Is that, I mean, is that how that story is supposed to end?
Yeah. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right as that band was on the verge of actually becoming something resembling worldwide superstars, he choked on his own puke and died.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, what do you, so, did he achieve success?
Yes and no.
His band went on to be one of the biggest selling rock outfits of all time.
Yeah.
Without him,
Right.
So,
it just, and maybe, connecting these dots is very, whatever. The metaphor in that is that, who's it for?
Sure.
I think it's one of those things where I have experienced as a theater artist / teaching artist. I have experienced the intention to try to be top shit and try to be the know-it-all, the person that knows everything. The desperate need to be validated as some sort of academic or theatrical genius.
To fill that hole with your academic success.
And that is immediately disappointing. I mean, right. Trust me, feeling
that's interesting,
because it's so everything is changing constantly. So there's no way to grasp onto that. But if you're looking to that experience to fill that hole, it is a rude awakening, and then like today, like classes start up tomorrow. I'm going to put together a syllabus and I'm just going to, get in my car and go to work. And that's not like, oh, poor me. It's what it is like, this is the work that I do. I'm not looking for it to do more than it can do. I'm not going to the hardware store for milk with this.
Right.
Like yep. I can be of service to these students, and it's an opportunity to, to be loving and kind and treat people well. I'm not looking for it to make me happy anymore. You know?
Yeah, that's interesting. I've noticed playing with Exile is that like really my intention with that is to show people a good time.
Yeah, right.
Like that's really like people need a good time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so that they can come out and kind of, you know, like Piano Man says, forget about their cares for a while, you know, and just rock out and get funky and weird. And like, then that's to me a successful evening, you know, like if I can play a part in somebody going home and saying that was fun, then that's a success.
I think
wasn't Steve Erbauer awesome? Because I wasn't, but you know, if they can just think, you know, that was cool, that was fun, I'm glad that exists in Lincoln, Nebraska, or what, you know.
Right. Or that solo in that song that I love sounded really comforting and familiar and made me have a great, you know, like you're a part of the experience. You're not trying to steal the experience from others.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to, you know, that's what makes it worth dragging the amps out, you know.
I don't
in my case,
know.
amp.
I don't know who it was. I want to say it was either Gandhi or Ram Dass or somebody. It was like, it could have been none of those people. It's one of those quotes that just sort of lives anonymously, maybe. But like, people don't remember. Like, I think about this in the classroom or in the rehearsal room. People don't remember like what I said, or how, you know, maybe they do, but people don't remember what I, you know, knowledge I disposed upon them or taught them. People remember how you made them feel.
Yeah, 100%.
You know,
I've struggled with that area, with that my entire life.
Correct. Me too. I am really good at making people feel like shit.
Yeah, me too.
And just like, I would love to take the wind out of your sails for no other reason than to watch you deflate.
I don't do it on purpose. It just happens.
It's just who I am, baby.
Oh my God. Our friend Terry, who's been on the show, you know, used to tell me like, dude, your message is usually not wrong, but your method of delivery is almost always entirely inappropriate.
Yeah. I did it the other day to somebody who I, you know, work with. It was like, they were feeling very enthusiastic and excited. And I basically was like, yeah, call me in 3 years when, you know, just like,
you totally rained on their parade.
Yeah. What the, you know? But
I'm guilty. I'm guilty of that too. Like, congratulations on your pink cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Call me in 6 months when you have a clue. Okay, fine.
Why do I do it?
Because, well, I couch it now in the fact that I'm 50 years old and I'm entitled to a certain amount of that
curmudgeonry.
Yeah. Exactly.
You've earned your.
Hey man, I got my stripes. Just listening to 20 somethings talk sometimes, I'm just like, oh boy. Okay.
It is a test of patience, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have to remember, like, I have to take it back to like, what did I sound like when I was 21? And the answer was not great.
And were you, I need to remember, was I impacted by people that were cynical, or was I impacted by people that were graceful?
Yes and yes for me.
True. Right. But I've been thinking about this particular mentor in my life a lot lately, Virginia Smith, who was a professor at UNL, and she retired a few years ago. But she was my acting teacher, directing teacher, overall mentor. She helped me get into grad school, all that.
Right.
And she was not the most favorite person because she knew how to have boundaries. She knew how to,
that'll make you unpopular.
She knew how to have strong boundaries and desire what she wanted. And she knew how to like articulate that. And she was caring and loving, but she realized your feelings about what was going on were your feelings about them.
Right.
And I'm like, you know, a lot of people gave her, or behind her back, really gave her a lot of guff. And I'm like, I want that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do. She was amazing. I hope I get the chance to tell her that again, you know, because like that's
maybe we should get her on here.
Oh, I bet she'd do. I could probably text her today and see if she's a ham like me. She'd be down.
That'd be great. We need some guests.
Yeah, we do, huh?
Mhm.
But anyway, just like that, like she made me feel like uncomfortable and like, but that I was never going to get away with anything. But she also really gave a shit about my success, but
Yeah.
she wasn't going to do it for me.
Right.
And that's the kind of like, mentorship that I try to exude. I don't even know how I got on that tangent, but
I don't know. Well, you made me think. You talking about her made me think of my senior year government teacher in Virginia. His name was John McMenamin, and John. He grew up on the south side of Philadelphia. He was a 5 foot tall Irish guy, but he took no shit from anybody. He weighed maybe 110 pounds, and he was tough as fucking nails.
yeah.
And he was teaching all these suburban punks in Fairfax County, Virginia, and he hated every single one of us. Like at night, he went and talked down at the federal pen down in Lorton, Virginia, to actual hardened, like he went and taught GED to, actual hardened criminals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so putting up with our shit during the day, he had no. But I mean, he was so awesome. Like he knew that me and my buddy Chris, he knew that we were not interested in his class.
Right.
He knew that we were probably more interested in trying to get the hell out of there for an hour than, and he let us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't like, but despite all of that, he still treated us like people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he knew that maybe someday we'd pull our heads out of our asses. And he made it very clear to us that he thought we had our heads so far up our asses. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But he did it in a way that was like, you guys will be all right someday.
Yeah.
Just survive the next 5-10 years, and maybe someday you'll pull your head out of your ass. In the meantime, if you want to go to McDonald's, fine.
Yeah. Right.
Good
luck out there.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But that guy had like that. I'll never forget him.
Yeah. Yeah. That feels very similar to pivotal people in my life that, Virginia being one of them, but my high school theater teacher, Dave Hastings, he was very kind and very caring, but he was kind of like, yeah, you're a mess, but you can you can do this.
But
you're really talented.
Mess.
You're a fucking mess. So,
Yeah.
I got to make a gratitude amends to that guy and just thank him. That was special.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah. I don't know. I don't know where we got. I don't know how we got here, but I like it because it's like, how do people, like it's less about the goal is not to try to self-improve, because self-improvement is like for its own, I guess self-improvement to just boost the ego is not, it's not useful. Self-improvement,
like I'm gonna get my 6-pack abs and then they'll see.
Right.
Whatever.
The self-improvement for its own sake is actually when this shit actually works. It's just like, I'm curious about how to be a better human in the world,
Right.
Like the fact that you're excited about jury duty and you're like, I don't want to miss jury duty.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with being successful.
No.
In whatever area you want to be successful in. But it does come back to whether you want to call it being of service to others or, to glorify God or whatever, like that's, I've done all these things through whatever God you want to choose. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, I think that's good stuff. I think we just trying to win capitalism is a whole other thing,
Well, we both know people that are significantly more wealthy than either of us put together.
Yes.
That are the kindest, most generous, most loving, welcoming people in the world.
Yeah.
And because they use their resources as a benefit to their community, not as they're trying to win capitalism.
Right. I know.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know, man. I might come over and get that COVID test.
I was going to say, is that the moment that the spike protein took hold?
I don't know, man. Like, I don't feel terrible, but I don't feel great either. You know what I'm saying?
I don't have the congestion shit, but I still have a headache. I took some shit earlier.
What'd you take?
Excedrin.
So that's acetaminophen and caffeine, basically.
No. I took a leave. I took.
Oh, it's an naproxen sodium. See, that's growing up in a medical household. Like, I don't just take cold medicine in quotes. Like, I have all of the actual ingredients that go in all of the cold medicines.
Right.
I have acetaminophen for fever.
Mm-hmm.
I have guaifenesin for congestion.
Mucinex.
Yes, guaifenesin is the active ingredient. Always buy generic. You can buy the generic for $3, or you can buy Mucinex for $12. Your choice.
Quality assurance, baby. I want the good shit.
Whatever. Then oh my gosh, hold on a second.
Oh, he's being attacked by a pug.
No, I'm not being attacked.
He's being attacked. It's a bloodbath, everybody. It's disgusting. The humanity.
Not one of my daughters had a friend coming over. So there's acetaminophen, Tylenol, guaifenesin, Mucinex, and then there's dextromethorphan, which is the cough suppressant, which is usually sold with a bunch of other shit in it.
Can you get just the pure?
You can. Yep.
You can get it uncut.
You can get it uncut. Just dextromethorphan. Like, if all you've got going on is a little cough, take some dextromethorphan, right? Because all the stuff that's like the daytime, nighttime, all inclusive, super DM, it's just various combinations of all these different drugs. So I prefer to be able to pick and choose.
I like my nighttime cold medicine to get me to a point where I enjoy Pink Floyd.
Right. Yeah. I appreciate that for sure. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Little NyQuil and a little Dark Side of the Moon. Let's do this.
Fuck yeah, man.
And so then the last thing, we got acetaminophen, dextromethorphan, pseudoephedrine for nasal congestion. You got to get it from behind the counter. It's the stuff that's kind of controlled because it's used to make meth.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get the quote Sudafed shit that's not behind the counter because it doesn't do anything. Go to the pharmacy counter, say, I want Sudafed with actual pseudoephedrine in it, because it's the only thing that works for me.
It's better if you do it with your hood up and you scratching your neck.
Scratch your neck, yeah. Mm-hmm. And ask for the big one. Get the 96. Get the 96 count.
Do you have a barrel? Do you have a barrel of that?
Right, yeah. And if you can grind your jaw a little bit while you're asking. Yeah. I just did that last night.
You have given. I love that we have this on record though, because you have given me this spiel before, and it's super helpful because I will go. I don't know.
I'm just gonna get some cold medicine, and then you end up feeling all fucked up and weird. And
correct, and none of the symptoms are taken care of, but I feel weird.
Yeah, and see, that's I hate that. So it's like if I'm congested but I don't have the cough, I take a Sudafed.
Yeah,
the guaifenesin is great for first strike. Like, if I start feeling a little congested, I immediately start taking that because it helps your coughs be productive. You're not just coughing for the sake of coughing. When you cough, it's actually doing something, which is getting the crud out of your lungs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry, everybody.
No, this is great. I love this because I've heard this monologue before, but
yeah, it's true.
It's useful information because I am completely,
like, when I go to the cough cold aisle at whatever CVS or Walgreens or Hy-Vee or whatever, I just hate it because there's all this fucking marketing bullshit, and I'm like, just give me the 4 drugs.
I am a victim of that marketing.
Yeah, exactly.
And Kirsten
I'm trying to be a public service.
Yeah, Kirsten is like you. She knows what's what. Like, if I have a headache, I'm like, I'll just take. I don't know.
Give me some.
Like, what are you going to take? I'm taking ibuprofen. She's like, no. You need to take Excedrin. I'm like,
well, yeah, but Excedrin is just acetaminophen and caffeine.
But that sometimes does the trick.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's because caffeine's good for headaches too. Plus, it helps you, gives you, if you're feeling kind of like you just got hit by a truck, a little caffeine helps you get over that hump too.
Yeah, but I am a victim of the packaging, 100%. Right. I'm like, well, okay, I'll take that. And then it doesn't actually do it. This is a public service. I mean, this is important to know.
Yeah. It's sometimes kind of hard to find, but it's worth spending 30 seconds looking for just dextromethorphan. You can even get it in caplets, whatever. I think this is why our listenership is down.
Dude, this is the message, man.
It's message. Capital T, capital M.
I don't care, man. This is the message. This is the message that we are.
Maybe that's what we need to do is rebrand.
Yeah. Welcome to the message. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the message
with Joel and Steve.
With Steve and Joel.
Oh no, you get top belly.
Today on the message, we're just really, I mean, we're trying to whittle it down to the people that are down to start the cult.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
This is
weirdly, nobody's sent us any money yet.
The long game. Well, I'll
It's
see.
the long game. We're sowing the seeds.
Right. So the people that are, I mean, cults take a while. Trust me.
We gotta start coming up with like our gateway, our thing to the heavens. The thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Wait, are we a death cult? Or are we just like a?
I don't think you ever really start out as a death cult.
Oh, it just gets there.
It's a life cult, man.
It's a life cult.
It's not even a cult. We're just a group of people.
We're just a group of people trying to be better on our way to the starship.
We're just trying. We don't have any agenda other than
your freedom from bondage
and tax exemption and and
why aren't we a religious organization? Did you watch that John Oliver on starting a church?
No.
Oh, it's so good.
I need to.
Yeah, John Oliver starts a church.
Oh my God, I love that
guy. Just for the tax exemptions, just to show how that works and how churches need to start paying taxes, and the fact that they're not is complete bullshit.
I'm actually, it's probably a really, really good I don't know, the good luck that I did not actually get super curious about finding the Scientology city center in Clearwater, Florida. Dude. As much as I joke about it, there's a part of me, it's like, I could totally let's just check it out, babe. We'll just sit, we'll listen to their 20-minute thing. It'll be funny.
Dude, when I went to my cousin's wedding in Salt Lake City 2 decades ago, and we went to the Mormon Tabernacle and all that.
Yep.
And we went through the visitor center there.
Yep.
And I am not kidding you, man. After we were walking around looking at the history or whatever for 5 minutes, 2 very attractive 22-year-old blonde girls came up and started chatting me up.
Yep.
And 2 very attractive 22-year-old masculine looking Joe America dudes started chatting my sister up.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, this is fucking creepy.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, it was that I can see how somebody that wasn't, on guard would be like, these are just the nicest people.
Yeah. And if I marry one of them, I'll get a planet too. This is perfect.
Is that how the Mormons work? I don't know. But all I know, you could end up going door to door wearing the white shirt and the black tie.
But if you do that, man, if you do that well enough, you get your own solar system when you die.
Sure. Whatever.
That's the biggest hook for me, man. I'm like, fuck. But I've already done the research. It's too late for me. You have to have a perfect Mormon life in order to get the planet.
Oh, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah. It's a bummer.
Well, there's no thing about the repenting or
you can. Oh no, they'll take your money and repent and all that, but
you're not going to get a planet.
No. I wasn't born Mormon. I wasn't married. Yeah. I don't have 8,000 kids. I didn't do
when I was a senior in high school, I used to party with this girl Brenda, and just on a circle of friends or whatever.
Hi Brenda.
I'm going to omit her last name, but every single time she was Mormon, every single night ended with her crying. Every night, because she'd get drunk, she'd hook up with her boyfriend, and then she'd cry because she felt so guilty. Like clockwork.
Sounds like a party.
She was very nice and frankly a lot of fun until the crying started. But it was just the Mormon in her would just, I have to go home and I can't face my parents, and what are they gonna think? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe brush your teeth before you go home. I don't know.
You just that's when you say well, you started drinking Coca-Cola with caffeine in it. That's what did it to you. You're screwed now. I don't know what to tell you. Your Rumspringa is done. I know that's I know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But
yeah, it was
a lot of fun until the crying started.
I mean, every night. Like clockwork. And somebody has to take her home,
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, so I didn't join the Scientologists.
I'm grateful for that, because I don't know if I'm strong enough to get you out.
I don't think anybody is. I think that if
I started watching the Leah Remini thing on,
dude, I fucking love that shit.
Yeah, I watched maybe 2 episodes. I'm like, yeah, I get it. I got other things to do. I get it. They're horrible. And the one that I really liked was the Wild. What was it? The Osho one.
Wild Country.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Like that story is amazing.
That is one that because I have a proclivity for cults, right? I love them. I love reading, watching them. I love it all.
Sure.
And I was watching that, and like I was on board with them for half of that show.
I was
too, like,
actually.
yeah, that
I love it.
I'm like,
great. That's how
where can I sign up?
That's how we should be living.
And then they started poisoning people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then they started buying Kalashnikovs and, fucking having shooting practice. And I'm like, oh, man.
that dream kind of.
I
love Osho quotes.
I love the 6-hour sex dance movement parties and tents.
Right.
And
I actually thought about you when they were showing those parties. I'm like, that's right up Joel's alley.
Like, I kind of did that in grad school.
Right. Yeah. 6-hour sex dance movement parties. I mean, what's not to like? That's the path to enlightenment, as far as I'm concerned.
Correct.
Yeah. That's what Grateful Dead concerts were.
But then they started giving their leader cocaine, which is also kind of like,
yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
But the singular documentary about Scientology, the Leah Remini stuff can kind of turn into like, it kind of turns up like Brenda, right? It's kind of just ends up, it's just people crying,
right?
But but the singular piece that everybody should watch about Scientology is the documentary Going Clear on HBO.
I don't even think I've heard of that.
Ooh, it's great. They pull no punches, and it's really cool.
Did you watch the Kaminsky Method?
I watched like the first. I didn't finish that.
Oh, dude, it's so good. There's a Scientology quote. Those two guys, Alan Arkin and Michael Douglas, are amazing.
Yeah,
they're amazing. That show is like it's like what a way to spend retirement. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
like it's if you look at it from that lens, like these are two guys that they've had an incredibly successful and amazing career. They're both world renowned. And they're obviously just having a blast making this thing. It's delightful. But anyway, there's a Scientology subplot in there that's kind of funny.
All right.
Yeah, it's great.
I liked what I saw. I just never followed through.
Oh, dude, it's so worth watching. Both seasons are great. It's so good. Oh my God, it's so good. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
What are we going to call this one? I feel like part of our drop in leadership is our last two titles weren't super. They were like, "Hey, happy New Year."
What? I don't know.
We could.
Yeah,
people are like, "Want to join a cult?"
Joel and Steve finally deliver the message.
That's right. This has all just been laying the groundwork. Now we're digging in.
Yeah, this is it.
This is our 60th episode.
Holy crap!
I know, it's amazing.
Congrats.
Yeah, you too. Also,
I wrote down. This is speaking of the message. Everybody start a gratitude journal. I wrote down in my gratitude journal this. I was like, I'm grateful for the opportunity to create a conversation today. I wrote that down.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care if there's 10. I don't care. I mean,
I know. I really don't either.
If we were after the Lamborghini money for real, we would have tried to find somebody to.
Well, what would happen is we would have stopped after the fifth one of these.
Yeah. This is obviously not about the validation.
I'd settle for a little validation.
Well, I validate you, Steve.
From other people.
All right.
I love you, baby. I can change.
Well, for those of you that, and we do kind of make jokes, for those of you that still listen after 60 episodes, thanks. I'm glad that our wild conversations are a part of the shit that goes on between your ears, or maybe a break from the shit that goes on in between your ears.
Amen. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
And yeah, if you want to join the cult, please.
We got to start the Venmo account or something.
Yeah.
Or just keep listening. Tell your friends. Like and subscribe. Subscribe.
Leave.
That's all we need.
Leave weird culty reviews on our podcast platforms. Like these two hyper enlightened beings changed the way I look at money, sex, and dancing. Their message is one that will forever ripple out into the cosmos. Like The funnier, the better. And then
Sure.
send it to us.
That'd be great. Oh my gosh. All right.
Well, next week we'll do live bloodletting on the podcast. That's the next step.
That's what I was thinking. Well, I was thinking in our attempt to boost listenership, maybe we ought to do some sort of promotional event.
Like,
I don't know. I don't know. The live show's out because it's called. Yeah, we should do some merch. I got to talk to the merch manager.
Let's get those mugs going.
Yeah,
that's easy.
Some mugs.
That's easy. Well, sure. Let's invest some of our own fucking money, because otherwise I'll spend it on Switch games. Like,
right.
Let's buy a box of mugs.
Buy a box of mugs, and then we'll. Oh, I know. We could buy a box of mugs at wholesale, and then sell them at a profit.
There you go. But these mugs, I just want everybody to know these mugs have been blessed. They have been blessed by Joel and Steve.
That's right. Individually.
Yes, they have been blessed, and they have been. I'll even
include a 1 ounce bottle of Joel and Steve holy water.
Yeah. I don't want to know what's in there. I don't think anybody else does, but it's sacred. It comes from.
You can't know what's in it. It's beyond our comprehension.
Yeah, we are vessels of the cosmic fluid that is flowing through the arteries of time, and it comes from a secret cave south of Lincoln, Nebraska, that is the womb of all consciousness. And we just want you to be a part of it and partake in it, like a holy communion of all sentient beings, both of this earth and of our sister planet Krogon, that we can access through the opening in the earth. So welcome to the message.
I don't think I've laughed that hard in months.
Welcome to the message. I've been listening to too much Leather Rose with Duncan Trussell and Johnny Pemberton.
I can't.
You have to.
I know. Okay, fine. Tomorrow on my way to jury duty. While I'm sitting there waiting, I'll listen to the Leather Rose. Oh my gosh.
You have to send me a photo of you in the respirator at jury duty. That has to happen.
That'll be my album cover photo.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
I love you.
I love you too. Oh my god. I feel
merch is coming. Merch is coming, people.
Something big. I think we're gonna have followers.
So let's get some mugs going, and then we'll get some. Maybe we'll get t-shirt. Maybe we'll do a different t-shirt design.
Oh. Okay.
I don't know.
I don't either. We'll work on it.
Yeah. Or not. Or not. We've been talking about this for a year and a half, so it may not.
Right. I feel like we can do it. It'll be great.
Yeah. All right, man.
Love you.
Love you too.
Later.
Bye.
Have no mercy in this land. Death don't have no mercy in this land. In this land, yeah. Come to your house, you know he don't take long. You look in the bed this morning, children, find that your mother's gone. I said, death don't have no mercy in this land. Death will leave you standing and crying in this land. Death will leave you standing and crying in this land. In this land. Yeah. Whoa, come to your house, you know it. Don't stay long. You look in the bed this morning, chilling, finding your brothers and sisters are gone. I said, death don't have no mercy in this land. Death will go in any family in this land. Death will go in any family in this land. In this land. You look in the bed this morning, children find that your family's gone. I said death don't have no mercy, no mercy in this land. Death will leave you standing and crying this land. Death will leave you standing and crying in this land. In this land. You know, don't take a load.
Don't forget, toot your hooter.